Hello, my name is Carter, and this is my 15-112 term project, a game called Agar. This game is a reimagining of the popular multiplayer game Agar.io, where dots compete to become the biggest by eating smaller dots. In this take on the game, however, your dot is controlled by your hand using the webcam rather than the mouse, and all enemy dots are controlled by the CPU. So to start, we can pick a name because player is boring. I'll say Carter. And that'll show up right there to show who's playing. Now by default, my game tracks red objects to control the user's location, the user dot's location, but to tune the motion capture to your surroundings, you can click calibrate right here. This is me, and it should be calibrated for this red object by default, but for example, you can take any other colored object like this calculator, click on it, and it will start tracking that as well. Or not as well, but it'll change the tracking to that color. But for the purposes of this demo, I'll stick to red since it's easy to use, and click I'm done when I'm satisfied, and now we can start the game. So when we start, you'll notice that I'm relatively small to begin with, but I can get bigger by eating these little dots called food. Now you see some other dots start to appear on my map. They are also trying to get bigger by eating food and each other as well. You'll notice on the bottom right there's a little window showing what my webcam sees and an outline around my object so that I can make sure that I'm staying within the border and it's tracking my object correctly. Also, all of the dots have individual names which can show up on the leaderboard on the top right. And that shows the biggest objects at this point. So the game goes on forever because a new dot appears every time a dot is eaten, and if I go far enough up, you'll see there's a border there, and so that's the bounds of the game. Another cool feature is if you're large enough, you can click the space bar, and your dot will split into two dots of half the size, and one of them will boost out like you saw, and then they'll follow each other in a snake-like motion with one dot rotating around the other depending on which way you're going, and then eventually recombine. This is very useful for if you're running away from a bigger dot and you want to get a quick escape, or if you're trying to chase a dot that's half the size of you or less than half the size of you and you want to catch them, you can split out and try to catch them. So I'm just going to try to quickly get eaten so that you'll see the you lose page. Now you have the option to play again, go to the main menu, or recalibrate.